In a world of shifting alliances and fragile diplomacy, one nation stands at the center of global conflict: Israel. The headlines scream tension, but the reality is far more intricate. This isn't just about borders or religion. It's about power and influence on a global scale. As tensions rise across the Middle East, many nations are openly or covertly opposing Israel. Each has its own reasons and motivations, leading to complex consequences. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for anyone trying to make sense of today's world. Why do some nations choose confrontation over cooperation? What are the stakes? In this video, we'll explore the top 8 countries in conflict with Israel in 2025. Some may surprise you, while others confirm your suspicions, but all reveal deeper truths about global power and diplomacy. Stay tuned until the end. What's happening behind the scenes may change the world more than we think. Coming in at number 1 is Iran. When it comes to Israel's most vocal and persistent opponent, Iran leads the list. This decades-long adversarial relationship is rooted in a complex mix of political ideology, regional dominance, and proxy warfare. Though official diplomatic relations have long been severed, the hostility has only intensified. Iran's support for armed groups in the region, especially those that challenge Israel's legitimacy, has put the two on a near-constant collision course. The ideological framing, with Iran's leadership often calling for resistance against Israeli policies, adds fuel to the fire. Sanctions, cyber operations, and tit-for-tat threats between the two have made headlines, but the real story lies in the broader geopolitical impact. Iran's actions influence not just Israel, but also US foreign policy, Gulf relations, and international alliances. The conflict also spills into Syria, Lebanon, and other hotspots where Iranian-backed forces occasionally clash with Israeli forces. Each confrontation raises the specter of broader conflict and draws in external powers like the US and Russia. Despite periodic talks on nuclear issues or regional de-escalation, trust remains non-existent. For many analysts, Iran-Israel tensions are not just a regional issue, they're a global flashpoint with serious implications. And unless there's a radical shift in leadership or policy, Iran will likely remain Israel's most prominent rival. Taking the number 2 spot is Turkey. Turkey's stance on Israel is far more complex than just opposition. It's a relationship marked by economic cooperation, political tension, and periodic diplomatic fallout. The governments may engage in trade and tourism, but when it comes to policy on Gaza or Jerusalem, sparks fly. Under certain administrations, Turkey has positioned itself as a vocal critic of Israel's policies, especially toward Palestinians. This positioning has earned the country praise in parts of the Muslim world, but has strained its ties with Israel and even NATO allies. Despite being a member of NATO, Turkey's rhetoric often echoes that of Israel's adversaries. The leadership has hosted political factions opposed to Israeli influence and has not shied away from sharp criticism on international platforms. Yet, paradoxically, economic ties between the two remain intact. Energy deals, exports, and investments quietly continue, even when diplomatic relations are at their worst. This strange duality is one reason Turkey remains both an enigma and a strategic puzzle. Still, the tone at the top matters. And as long as Turkey's leadership maintains a hardline stance on Israel's Middle East policies, tensions are bound to persist. In today's world, alliances are not always black and white, and Turkey's position. At number 3, we have Syria. While Syria has been embroiled in a civil conflict for years, its opposition to Israel remains a defining part of its foreign policy narrative. The Golan Heights, a strategically important region, remains a major point of contention, with both countries claiming rights over it. Though Syria's domestic instability has limited its ability to challenge Israel directly, its territory has become a playground for proxy conflict. Iranian forces and Hezbollah have used Syrian land as a staging ground, prompting periodic Israeli airstrikes in response. These military interactions may be limited in scope, but their implications are enormous. Each strike has the potential to escalate into a broader regional conflict, especially when civilian areas are involved or international borders are crossed. Syria's alignment with Iran and Russia adds layers of complexity to its opposition. As long as Syria acts as a corridor for anti-Israel forces, tensions will remain high. The international community often overlooks Syria's role in the Israel conflict due to its internal chaos. But make no mistake, it's one of the most volatile pieces on the chessboard. With reconstruction efforts still years away, Syria is likely to remain a frontline in the ongoing geopolitical standoff. Ranked number 4 is Lebanon. Lebanon's conflict with Israel is deeply intertwined with Hezbollah's influence. This powerful organization shapes Lebanon's politics and stands firmly against Israel. Backed by Iran, Hezbollah has engaged in numerous conflicts with Israel, including a devastating war. Border tensions persist, driven by rhetoric and retaliatory actions. While the Lebanese government claims neutrality, Hezbollah operates independently, complicating peace efforts. This dual power structure heightens the risk of sudden escalations. Israel sees Hezbollah as a major threat, capable of striking deep into its territory. Military exercises and surveillance are constant along the border, with preemptive strikes becoming routine. Meanwhile, Lebanon is grappling with internal crises, economic collapse, political paralysis, and decaying infrastructure. These issues are compounded by the ever-present threat of renewed war. As long as Hezbollah holds its power, Lebanon will remain trapped in this cycle. Sitting at number 5 is Pakistan. Pakistan has never recognized Israel as a state, and the diplomatic freeze is rooted in deep ideological beliefs. For decades, Pakistan has supported the Palestinian cause, linking its identity with Muslim solidarity. While there's no active conflict, the diplomatic void keeps relations cold. Rumors of back-channel talks occasionally surface, but they're quickly denied by officials. This relationship isn't defined by military threats, but by ideology and religion. Pakistan criticizes Israeli policy in international forums, while Israeli media sees it as part of an anti-Israel bloc. Recent global realignments have pressured Pakistan to reconsider, but public opinion remains anti-Israel. Any shift would come with political risk, so Pakistan maintains its traditional stance. It's not a military conflict, but the diplomatic standoff is very much alive. Landing at number 6 is Algeria. Algeria might not make international headlines often, but when it comes to Israel, its stance is clear: unwavering opposition. The country has no diplomatic relations with Israel and frequently uses international platforms to criticize its policies. Like others on this list, Algeria supports the Palestinian cause and often aligns with other nations that resist normalization efforts. This positioning earns Algeria respect in certain regional blocs, but isolates it from broader peace initiatives. The government has passed legislation making normalization with Israel illegal. This isn't just rhetoric, it's national policy. Though not a military threat to Israel, Algeria's influence in African and Arab diplomatic circles is noteworthy. Its ability to sway votes or delay negotiations makes it a soft power adversary. The ideological opposition is reinforced by strong public sentiment, with protests and political speeches regularly denouncing Israeli actions. In an age of shifting alliances, Algeria's steadfast position is both rare and strategically significant. Securing the number 7 spot is Malaysia. Malaysia has built a reputation for its vocal stance against Israeli policy. Despite being thousands of miles away, the Southeast Asian nation continues to oppose normalization and frequently speaks out on behalf of Palestinians. The government's refusal to engage with Israel goes beyond symbolism. Malaysian athletes have been barred from competing in events alongside Israelis, and trade relations remain non-existent. Public sentiment strongly backs this approach. From media coverage to academic forums, Malaysia's narrative on Israel is consistent and aligned with Muslim solidarity. Internationally, Malaysia's voice carries weight in the global south. It often partners with countries like Pakistan and Turkey to advocate for Palestinian rights. While Malaysia is not involved in military or direct threats, its consistent diplomatic stance keeps it on Israel's radar. In a world of diplomatic balancing acts, Malaysia's clarity on the issue stands out. Closing in at number 8 is Indonesia. Indonesia, the world's largest Muslim-majority country, has no formal diplomatic ties with Israel. The government maintains a firm policy of non-recognition, citing solidarity with the Palestinian people as a core reason. Though indirect economic exchanges may occur through third parties, official relations are virtually non-existent. This has not stopped international voices from pushing for normalization, especially due to Indonesia's rising global influence. Still, the government faces pressure at home. Public opinion is overwhelmingly pro-Palestinian, and any move toward formal ties with Israel could spark backlash. Indonesia also frequently uses international forums like the UN and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation to voice opposition to Israeli actions. Efforts at people-to-people diplomacy or academic exchange have been proposed but often stall due to political sensitivities. Indonesia remains one of the most important countries yet to normalize ties with Israel, and its stance continues to shape regional diplomacy. This story isn't just about 10 countries, it's about how the world navigates the tension between ideological loyalty and international cooperation. These conflicts shape more than foreign policy. They influence trade, diplomacy, and global peace efforts. As alliances shift and rivalries deepen, the lines between diplomacy and opposition blur more than ever. Some countries wield weapons, others wield words, but both hold power. Understanding these tensions helps us make sense of global headlines and international negotiations. Are these conflicts avoidable or inevitable in a fractured world? Israel remains a lightning rod for disagreement, yet a focal point for potential dialogue. Each country represents not only a challenge, but an opportunity for diplomacy. The future depends on bold leadership, informed citizens, and a willingness to look beyond the past. Behind every policy is a person, and behind every nation is a story worth understanding. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell us in the comments, which country's position surprised you most?